What is going on today, my herd? Welcome, gamers, to the MooCast. This is episode 1, and I'm sure you're wondering what the heck this is. Why is he doing a podcast? Well, a lot of you enjoy longer form content, right? Less edits, but there are a lot of you who like the very, very fast-paced, highly edited content as well. So, you have a lot of questions. I can't always live stream, so I figured I'd take a lot of these subjects I get asked frequently and just do a kind of longer, almost completely unedited, relatively unscripted breakdown of my thoughts and opinions, since some of you seem to care about that for some weird reason. There's some construction going on in the background, and Theo is actively attacking my headset cord, but we're going to try and make this work anyway. If I have to deal with it, then you do too. So I'm sorry if you hear any nail guns while we try to discuss the Hello Neighbor animated series. I get asked my thoughts and opinions on this all the time, and I'm just going to kind of run with it, man. So, starting off, it's been in development for a really, really long time. I mean, like years. The pilot came out over 3 years ago, and that's not even including all the time that was in development. So, overall, I think we need to be patient with the amount of time they're taking to make these episodes because they're clearly working hard and probably don't have a team large enough to churn out episodes like the newest Netflix series, right? So, picking things up with that, I can definitely appreciate the amount of time and effort that goes into this because it cannot be easy. I mean, just the fact that they came up with the idea to air it inside of a video game, that's both equally like an economical idea, right? Because they already have the game and you don't have the budget probably for a TV airing or something, and probably wouldn't even want to go that route with a young audience. So I think it's pretty genius to air it inside of a video game. That generated like news headlines online, which I can absolutely respect. I think that's pretty cool. As far as what I actually think of the show, I was not a fan of the pilot overall. It had an interesting premise, and I wanted to see where it was going, but I'm very thankful that they took a lot of consideration in the art style and also just what events they wanted to be canon, what they wanted the plot to look like. Other than getting rid of second policeman, I believe Officer Leslie, if I'm not mistaken, I am very embittered about him getting removed, as I think pretty much everyone is. He was just a cool character, but we can enjoy him in fan games and mods, right? And I guess that's enough. But moving on from there, what are you doing, Theo? Stop attacking me. Moving on from there, as episode 1 came around, I didn't actually watch it for a very long time. It was just not on my radar at all. I watched some clips inside of the Hello Engineer demo, and I was like, oh shoot, I should probably watch this. Everyone's asking me to react to this, and I was very apprehensive because reaction content is not what I want to do with my channel. Alright, it's time for Theo to go. He's being a little menace, a little miscreant. Run off. What was I saying? A lot of people were asking me to react to it, and I was very apprehensive because I typically frown upon reaction content, except for some people that make it really entertaining, right, and transformative. So I decided to do a watch party. That way I didn't have the pressure of making something transformative to my own high standards. So we just watched it. I didn't care if it got demonetized, and I actually enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I was going to. Episode 1 is very good, actually. Picks up well. The theme I really like. A lot of the music is good. The pacing goes a little up and down, but all of that pales in comparison to episode 2, where like, oh my gosh, the pacing is like someone dies, like someone gets murdered by Mr. Peterson, and then it all of a sudden goes into like very slow paced stuff that's like you probably could have cut this and no one would have missed it. So it felt pretty off there. Voice acting, I think, is pretty good across the board. I think the realtor woman did a really good job. I think that Trinity's parents were picked out very well. I think her voice was picked out very well. And I like most of them. Struggling to remember all of their names, so I can't really criticize too much. I have to say, above all, I am so, so glad they changed Brave's character from the pilot. She was unbearably irritating. like it was really, really bad to begin with. Oh my goodness. And that kind of brings us to the point we're at now. Episode 2 happened over 8 months ago, guys, and we are still waiting on episode 3. Now, there are multiple schools of thought here. A lot of people are patiently waiting and super excited. A lot of people are angrily waiting and super excited. And then there are the people that are constantly, chronically on the Hello Neighbor Discord, always raging, saying it sucks. They still haven't released episode 3. Like, why do you care? Why do you care if it sucks so bad, right? So there's some goofy stuff going on in there. Which brings me to a point I actually wrote down here, which is very philosophical. I wrote, community is either too nice or too mean. Pretty deep, right? No, but what I mean by that is that either the Hello Neighbor community is raging, saying it's all trash, they shouldn't even bother, I hate this so much, when it's like, I don't know why you're even here. Or I feel like they're on that side where they're too nice and they're just patiently waiting, paying for memberships where they don't get any of the promised benefits for months, which is another point we have to go into. Because tinyBuild, that while they may have had their hands full and were busy with multiple other games in the franchise, in out of franchise, you still have to deliver on these promises. If people are paying you to be part of this tinyBuild inner club on YouTube, I mean, you got to be delivering on that. Even if it means not giving everybody clips of the AS, just give them to the members. I mean, that's another thing. I keep sidetracking myself, and that's something I'm going to do a lot in this sort of podcast that's just long form, unedited commentary rolled up into a podcast burrito. I'm going to be doing a lot of tangents, a lot of just losing my train of thought, and you're going to really get to see how messy my brain is, which hopefully you enjoy. If you do and you've made it this far, please make sure to give this video a like. It would help me out immensely. And trying to get this out to people who might enjoy listening to it while you sit on the toilet or try to fall asleep or you're at work and you're supposed to be doing work. I mean, wherever you are, I don't really care. I'm just glad you're listening. But like I said, they're probably very busy with things such as Hello Neighbor VR, which is a big one, as well as Hello Engineer too. Totally lost my train of thought. Holy cow. Let's see if we can get back on track. Give me a second, guys. Yeah, I know that they've been incredibly busy with all kinds of game releases, as any big production company is, right? But promises still need to be kept. So that's when I say people are too nice. Don't continue paying for these things. Don't be excited every single time they release a 1-second clip from episode 3 through 6, which they have now completed. And in October, we will be getting the animated series Welcome to Ravenbrooks episode 3, 4, 5, and 6. As far as I understand, that is what's going to be happening. And they have 2 more seasons, 6 episodes each, that are slated to release goodness knows when. We may be up to the same weight again, which is why I think it's probably not the best idea to release 4 in a very short time. I think we should space them out because, as such, it is very hard for them to keep up with a fast-paced schedule because there's a lot that goes into storyboarding, like plot writing, scripting, voice acting, animating, like good grief. It's a whole bunch of stuff, right? And we've gotten a lot in the meantime, as I said, Hello Neighbor VR and Hello Engineer, which is detestable. Hello Engineer is terrible. I don't care who hears this. I hate Hello Engineer. You can like it. You're allowed to like it, but it's nothing unique and it's nothing special. And maybe I'm teetering on the mean side of the community there, but I've been very happy to wait with all the other things they're producing. And I'm also not overly hyped for the AS as of right now. I don't feel like I've seen enough of it to know where it's going. And then that brings us up to a very recent development where we got a clip of Mr. Peterson's voice for the very first time beyond just a or a secret neighbor, get out of my house, which we've heard plenty of, right? And I'm curious what your guys' thoughts are on Mr. Peterson's voice. Let me know in the comments. I am teetering on 2 sides. I think it sounds good. I think it fits him pretty well while sounding less comical for like one-liners in a video game, right? You need it to be someone that can speak lots. But should he be the type of character that speaks lots? Because he almost gives off pedo vibes with his voice and the way he looks at the kids and stares at the little girl while he bites down on that snack and crunches it real hard. I mean, a little bit sussy if you ask me. I almost wonder if they should have kept him more like he is in the video game with no actual, what am I trying to say? No full-on sentences, elaborate speech patterns. How about that? Beyond the growls, the gurs, the humps, the ows, the get out of my house. All that stuff that we're used to. I feel like it could be a little bit more enjoyable to just see the Mr. Peterson we all know and love, but developing him as a character could be super interesting at the same time. So like I said, I really just haven't seen enough to know where it's going, so I'm not on any certain side saying I love it or I hate it. So far, I've enjoyed it, and I will absolutely continue to update you guys on my thoughts of it, as long as you're interested. And if you are, subscribing helps me out a whole lot, although most of you tuned into this are probably already subscribed. Along with the clips that they've released and not releasing the promised images and leaks and all that as often as they should, they've also tried to tide us over with lots of YouTube community posts that are either GIFs, still frame images, polls, and that works as a content creator who has to take time off sometimes. That works for a short time, but that's not the way to keep people interested for months on end, right? 8 months of images. Like, I have enough frames to put together half an episode at this point, right? We've seen the Mayak, the Kayem, whatever you want to call it, the eyeball building, way too many times. Oh my goodness. Like, that stuff is just absurd. So all in all, I guess at the crux of all this, I'm very much looking forward to watching more of the series, which my wife finds pretty stupid because she doesn't get why I'm so into it, but that's totally okay. You know what? Us hardcore Hello Neighbor fans, we know why. And that's enough, man. That's enough. And for all you hardcore fans who have listened to about 12 minutes of commentary on an animated series, thank you very much for doing so. I really appreciate you guys, you hardcore fans. I wouldn't be where I'm at without you. Please let me know if you like this type of content for the future. It'll help me out immensely. Please expect to see more Hello Neighbor commentary and talk in the future, as we will do lots more of this, provided it's enjoyable for you guys here on the MooCast. I think that's all for now. Hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care, and I will see you guys next time.